I've destroyed entrepreneurs in court and I've seen them destroyed in business. And I've also saved them. I've seen how businesses die from the inside intimately. And I built the system to prevent it. But I didn't start there. I started as a bullied kid who couldn't even pronounce words right. So if you're an entrepreneur right now who's building something, scaling something, trying to protect something that everybody told you couldn't do right, I need you to understand where I come from, because I'm just like you. We're underdogs. And I was in a hole and I had to fight my way out. And everything I built, this system, the academy, all of it, I built it because I don't want to see you go through what I went through, what my clients went through, what my adversaries went through. This is my story and why Legally Bulletproof exists. So I was born into a family of compassionate doctors, medical doctors, but I didn't become a doctor of medicine. I became a doctor of law. And from a young age, I knew what it meant to be the underdog. I grew up as the only Arabic kid in a small town in suburban America. I had an accent. I had to be in the special class because I pronounced chicken as chicken. My friend's older brother used to beat me up, used to bully me. They used to call me little Saddam, a camel jockey, because I was Arabic, the only Arabic kid in my suburban town. So one day we got into a fight. I actually got into a couple of fights. I got into trouble and the principal called my father and told him that I needed medication. But my dad, being a doctor, said, no, he's just a boy being a boy. And he taught me to stick up for myself. And my mom, believe it or not, she taught me sports. She said, if you ever want respect, you have to earn it. And I earned it. I earned it playing basketball because she taught me. And I started beating these kids who made fun of me. I beat them in fights and then I beat them in sports. And you know what? They became my friends. Not because I became suddenly cool, but because I earned that respect. One game at a time, one fight at a time. And that's what it's like to be an underdog. And that's the first lesson that really shaped everything for me, that trophies aren't given, they're earned. One loss, one failure, one hard lesson at a time. But here's why that matters to you, because business is the same way. Nobody gives you a participation trophy for filing an LLC. You got to earn your market share. Nobody's just going to give it to you. And the entrepreneurs who understand that, who have a similar background, they're the ones who win, because it's all about overcoming adversity. Now, I took that same drive and attitude into school. First, I studied psychology in college and I graduated top in my class. I learned how people think, why they lie, how they make decisions under pressure. And then I went to law school because I wanted to help the underdog that I really identified with. I graduated top of my class in constitutional law and I was awarded a prestigious clerkship with a criminal judge. That's how I learned how courtrooms really work from the inside, not fearing how judges think, how cases are won and lost. And I realized that law clerks like myself ran the entire judge's courtroom. So this is why they should matter to you. I don't just read contracts, I read people. I know the moves that clients make before they walk, sue or lie. I know intimately what happens in the courtroom, how judges think. I know what competitors do when they smell weaknesses. That's an edge I can teach you, and it's an edge that no template lawyer can give you. And in that clerkship, I learned how to stand on my own feet. So after my clerkship, everyone told me the same thing. Go work for the government, work for a big law firm, be safe. That's what every lawyer does. Well, I did something different. Completely different. Something everyone said I was crazy for doing, my parents, my family, the judge I work for. I opened my own law firm. I didn't trust working for the government, and I didn't want to be told what to do. So there was no safety net, no backup plan. I had no mentor. That was my first real taste of entrepreneurship and my first taste of what you feel like every day, the uncertainty, the risk, the nobody's coming to save me reality, right? Like I said, I had no mentor. So why did I do it? Because I wanted to choose my own clients, my own destiny. And those were the underdogs, the people nobody else would fight for but myself. Those are the people I really wanted to help, the ones in the hole, just like I had been, just like you might be right now. And I started my own practice even when everybody told me not to. So for the next 20 years, I lived in courtrooms and boardrooms. I was in municipal court, family court, immigration court, civil court, chancery court, state court, federal court, getting injunctions, money judgments, you name it. I've stood there before hundreds of judges, argued hundreds of matters, hundreds of contracts. I've represented underdogs mostly in real life and business disputes, breach of contract, intellectual property, theft, partnerships blowing up, fraud, you name it, I basically litigated it. And it was always the underdog, not the big fish. But here's what most people don't know about me. It wasn't just on one side. Now, I've represented investors and their entrepreneurs. I've sat on both sides of the table, represented plaintiffs and defendants. I've helped people build deals and I've destroyed their deals in court. I've defended entrepreneurs against lawsuits, and I've been the one prosecuting those lawsuits against them. That's what makes me dangerous. I can understand both sides of the table, and that's very important. That's what makes me valuable to you. I see businesses from every angle inside of them. I know the weapons because I've used them. So when I tell you where you're legally exposed, I'm not guessing. I've seen it, I've exploited it, and now I can show you how to protect against it because I can see liabilities. I see the patterns. Every disaster came from one or two places, an enemy they didn't recognize or mistake they didn't know that they made within the 7 legal danger zones that touch upon every entrepreneur's business. I didn't have a name for it yet, but I was building the database that would eventually become your complete legal protection. But here's where my story takes a turn that most people don't really expect in a litigator's career. So I didn't just run my own law practice. I didn't just advise entrepreneurs. I actually became one. I've worn hats as GC, as a founder, as an advisor. I've helped lead projects in renewable energy, complex deals here and abroad, regulatory nightmares. I partnered with clients and colleagues on ventures, and I worked from the inside. Now, few worked, most didn't. But most businesses failed. I failed. I lost money. I made bad calls, but not legal mistakes. And that's what it means to be battle tested. But here's the real difference between me and most lawyers out there. Now, most lawyers only see the courtroom or they see their desk. I've seen both. I've been the entrepreneur who actually made the mistake, not just the lawyer who cleans it up. Like I said, I've represented plaintiffs and defendants. Most lawyers don't represent both sides. So when you tell me about your partnership problems, your contract disputes, your scaling fears, I don't just understand the law. I understand the feeling, the pressure, the sleepless nights, the feeling of uncertainty, and that pain. That used to make me sharper, and it made me the guy that you need, someone who's been where you are, because my only regret was not having a mentor. I didn't have a mentor to really help me. I didn't just represent my clients, I started to mentor them. Some of them were people others would have thrown away, like a former client who's maxed out of juvenile prison. I helped become a music artist. One of my other clients who was victimized by police, I helped buy some property to develop. She's now an amazing entrepreneur. So I didn't just represent underdogs. I believed in them when nobody else did. And I watched them win, and that's what was so rewarding for me. And that's what I want for you. Not just protection, I want transformation. From exposed to protected, from guessing to certainty, from vulnerable to bulletproof. That's what this is all about. I can help you as a mentor change your life and your business to prevent the problems that I would have exploited. So over time, something became painfully clear. By the time clients came to me, this was it. It was already too late. They'd already signed the wrong contract. They already chosen the wrong partner. They already walked into a lawsuit. They took on the bad deal. They made a preventable mistake that they didn't see coming, and they were legally exposed. So no matter what I did, how hard I fought, they always lost. Pain of court, the legal fees, the emotional devastation, the business destruction. It's debilitating. Trust me, if you've ever been in court, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment. It's really debilitating. Even if you win, you always lose. Imagine hiring me for a trial and I'm sitting across from you. And I tell you honestly, listen, we could have prevented all of this. If you had simply had a conversation with me about that contract, I could have helped you avoid this $100,000 lawsuit. I saw this over and over. I kept thinking about the same thing. If I could have gotten it to them before they made the mistake. And that's when everything shifted. I got tired of being the cleanup crew. I wanted to be the body armor. I wanted to be the mentor, not the lawyer who profits from your problem. I wanted to get to entrepreneurs like you before the enemy attacks, before the mistake is made, before you start going through the danger zones that have no idea what you're getting yourself into. So that's when I stopped being just a lawyer and I became a legal mentor. The mentor that I wish I had when I was building my own practice that no other lawyer would give me their time for. The mentor that you deserve to have right now that's not available anywhere else, because all of your mentors want to talk about sales and offense. I want to talk about defense. So all of those years, all of those businesses, all of those court cases, all of those angles that I saw issues from the investor side, the entrepreneur side, from the plaintiff side, from the defendant side, from the court side, from the transactional and litigation side. I took everything I learned and I built the only business defense system for entrepreneurs based on battle-tested data. Here's what I realized, that there's only two real threats to your business when I boiled it down to. That's enemies and mistakes. Everything you fear, every lawsuit, every deal gone bad, every disaster, it's either an enemy you didn't recognize or a mistake you didn't know that you made. And it goes across the 7 legal danger zones. There's a couple more, we'll get there, but I cataloged the 5 enemies that attack every business. I mapped out the 7 legal danger zones where these attacks happen. One of them has to do with your mindset. I documented the 101 deadly mistakes that give your enemies the ammunition to take you down. So Legally Bulletproof, it's not a template shop. It's not a course library. It's like nothing else. It's a strategic defense system built from lawsuits, deals, scars, and real wins, built from seeing businesses from every possible angle, win or lose. I built this for you so you can operate like a protected CEO and not like a guessing founder, and so you can have the mentor that I never had. The only regret that I had was not having that mentor who was battle tested. So here's what I want for you. I want you to sleep well at night knowing that your business is protected and you're maximizing your value. I want you to negotiate deals with confidence because you understand the leverage and you've acquired more skills now. I want you to grow without fear because you've fortified every single danger zone. I want you to understand legal protection. I want you to build something that's actually worth something so you can maximize your value with legal structure, legal strategies, legal agreements. You gotta go from legally blind to legally bulletproof. So that's the goal. That's the transformation. That's what the big boys do. And that's what this system delivers. That's why I created it. And that's what I'm here to help you do. So me and you are the same. Don't ever forget that. And I will always fight for you, the underdog. Remember, this all started with a kid who got bullied, who couldn't pronounce the word chicken. I couldn't say it right. Who learned how to fight, who earned his way into every room. I earned my trophies. That's why I keep them in my studio. It always reminds me of that. And now I teach others how to do the same with law, with strategy, with strength, with confidence. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to protect you. I've been in the hole. I've seen others in the hole, and I've fought my way out, and I've helped hundreds of people do the same. Unfortunately, some were too far in the hole to be saved. So I want to make sure you never end up there in the first place. And that's why I am the battle-tested boy. There's only one, right? And that's why I built Legally Bulletproof. It's the only business defense system for entrepreneurs. That's who I serve. It's because I am an underdog, just like you, just like all entrepreneurs. So if you've been flying now without a parachute, it's time to change that and change it immediately. First step is take my risk report. It's free. It shows you exactly where you're exposed across the 7 danger zones. Like I've been saying, it's something I would charge $7,500 to do in person, but I trained AI to be just like me. The link's in the description. Get the report now and get an action plan to fix your vulnerabilities. And if you're ready for the full system, the education, the tools, and having a lawyer in your corner, check out the Business Defense Academy. The link's also in the description below. So it would be an honor and a privilege to mentor you. And I can't wait to watch you win. I'm sick of watching entrepreneurs lose. So remember, defense wins championships. I'm Karam Nahas, the battle-tested lawyer. Get legally bulletproof.